welcome back in to the Scramble Drill NFL podcast. I am Ben. Across from me is Landon. We are in week 16. We are still doing the thing. Well, we just finished week 16 of the NFL. Landon, how you doing?
Yeah, this is Michael Jordan flu game. This is Kurt Schilling bloody sock. This is like we're battling. We are battling to put this out.
Yeah, I can tell in your voice you are definitely not feeling the greatest. And
yeah, we had several games that we just have to talk to. I've got a few takes that I'm just I couldn't sit on them through Christmas. That's not what Christmas is about, Ben.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I can't
bad.
sit on these things. So, yes.
But the thing is, we had such an incredible week of football that we can't put this off. We got to talk about this. Let's just hop into it. I am excited. I snuck 3 dynasty teams into the week 17 championship. So it's exciting.
A really
there.
Good year.
I do not think I don't think there's a window, just given the players I've got spread out, that I win all of them. I think I can get one.
Okay.
I hope I can get one. We'll see. With my luck, I'll lose all 3, but It is what it is. All right. On to Thursday night football. We keep having the game of the year on these Thursday night football games. What is
Thursday night, guys?
Right
we
now?
Can't complain about Thursday night this year. I can remember there's been a couple duds.
No,
There's
absolutely
been a couple
not.
duds, but like, dude, Thursday nights have been great this year. Great.
And dude, midway through the third quarter, I thought this was going to be a dud Thursday night.
Yeah.
Heck, even at the beginning of the fourth quarter, I thought this was a dud Thursday night. Like, we saw this. We at least thought we saw this coming from a mile away. I'm like, dude, it's the Rams. Like, they're gonna do it. Like, it's Sam Darnold. I'm not scared of him. I don't know what switch flipped in Sam Darnold's head, but holy crap.
Yeah. We'll definitely talk Seahawks first. I am at the place where I think 2 through 53 on the roster, meaning everybody but the quarterback. I think this is the best roster in the NFL. This team is really good.
This is the same we felt about the Eagles last year.
Now I think the Eagles were better, and Hurts has been far better than Darnold in big spots. So there's that edge. But I truly think this is the best roster in the NFL. I mean, this defense looks so fast. It feels like they get to, when they're going right, it feels like they get to everything. I know they give up 37 in overtime. They give up 30 in regulation, but this is a good team, man. This is a really good team. Sam Darnold in this game.
And they control their own destiny.
They're 12-3, control their own destiny. They should be the favorite for the 1 seed. I mean, it's crazy because San Francisco also controls their own destiny. We'll get to them, but like, they should be the favorite for the 1 seed. Sam Darnold in this game was not playing well. He had the first drive, they score a touchdown, and then I text you a couple times. Like, he got completely fooled on that second interception.
The one where they're like on the goal line and the defensive end backs into it. And
completely
Sam
fooled.
Straight to
completely
it.
fooled. And then I'll get to that when we talk about the Rams more. But like, he was not looking good. There was a little deer in headlights feel to this game, right? And so they're down.
That's what I was. You and I were both worried about just heading into this. I'm like, this is going to be just one of those Sam Darnold games.
Sam Darnold, and it's not a question. Like last year, think about the Vikings. They were awesome. They play the Lions. It was either week 17 or 18. I don't actually remember. I think it was 18 for the division. They were 14-2 at the time, or maybe they were 13-3. They were like up there, but they play the Lions for the division. He plays his worst game. I mean, he turned it over like 4 times or something. I don't remember exactly, but he plays the worst game of the year. Then they go to the playoffs and he plays awful and they get bounced in the first round. And those are the 2 biggest games of the year. Now, the rest of his career, he really hasn't had any big games. Like, he's had standalone. I remember it was like I think it was a Thursday night game when he was with the Jets where he was seeing Ghost against Belichick. Was that Thursday or Monday? I don't remember for sure. Yeah. But like, he's had standalone games where he wasn't good. But last year, biggest games were his 2 worst games of the year, far and away. This year, they played the Rams earlier this year, would have beaten him, but he threw 4 picks. Just complete meltdown. And it looked like that's where this one was going. He has the early, they score early on their drives. They were able to run the ball really well in this game. But
Kenneth Walker
he looked great.
Amazing.
And Charbonnet looked like an above average running back. Like they both looked great.
I think Charbonnet is an above average running back.
But they get this, okay? They go down 30-14. That is 2 scores, 16 points. That is 2 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions, right? They get the ball back. They look good. They're driving down the field, 8 plays. And then that's when you get the defensive end drops back in coverage and he throws a pick. At that point, dude, the game's over. It's the 4th quarter. Let me see what time it was. It's like you're looking at.
It's like 9 minutes
and 40-some seconds left.
Quarter, I think.
You throw a pick, and then legitimately, the Rams. Let's stay with the Seahawks. And then they turn it around. They get the big punt return for a touchdown. And that flipped the whole game. That brought juice into the building. We know that they call it the 12s for a reason. That crowd, that is a really good crowd up there in Seattle. Raining a little bit. It wasn't the best weather. Fans were in it, and that's all they knew. That's all they needed. They come back, and their defense showed up at that point. Their defense was lights out from there on out. I'm going to talk about it when we get to the Rams, and good for them. This was the biggest win for any team in the NFL this season. I don't know if it was the best win, but it was the biggest, most important win, division on the line, and
the best division in football this year,
playing against the team.
I don't think that's a question.
Who I still think is the best team in football. And you do this and come out with a win. I mean, it was fantastic. Best moment of Darnold's career.
Yeah, I think it was only like 3 minutes of actual game time before they tied it.
Oh, it was crazy.
His pick.
Absolutely crazy. Yeah. So 3 minutes of game time it happened so fast. I remember we were watching it. I literally had texted you deer in headlights, like literally the emojis of deer and a flashlight when he threw the pick with like 9 minutes left. I was like, the game's over. They're down 16. They're going to go down. They're going to at least run some clock or whatever. Flips on its head, and that's it. But so this was props to Seattle. Props to Seattle. I still am not in a place. I still think Sam Darnold's going to cost them a playoff game. I think if they don't make the Super Bowl, he will be the reason. But they got a great shot at the 1 seed, and man, Week 18 against San Francisco is going to be a blast.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that will be one of the most important games to watch of the NFL season.
Maybe the most.
On the Rams side, you can't really fault the Rams offense. I mean, Matthew Stafford throws for 450 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. They run the ball effectively. No Devontae Adams, so Puka Nacua decides to be completely unstoppable. Unreal game from Puka Nacua. It's just, I don't know. The cards just aligned with Seattle. It was one of those that just, once the momentum shifted, the Rams just couldn't overcome it. I don't have an explanation really for it. Sometimes I feel just games just go that way.
Yeah, so sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. So Matthew Stafford was unbelievable for the first 3 quarters and in overtime of this game, right? 4th quarter was a different story. Now, I still think we'll do an MVP talk when we get done talking about the game. But I do want to start by saying Puka, in my opinion, the list of receivers that are more like better football players than him in the NFL is Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, and that's the list. I think those are the only 2 better than him. And a lot of people are going to question Jefferson right now because of the year he's having, and I get that. I've seen enough from Jefferson to put him there, but dude, Puka I would take him over JSN, CD, Amon. I'd take Puka over all of them right now. Would you agree?
I don't think it's a question. I mean, I do understand. I'm with you. I think Jamar Chase is the best receiver in football, in my mind, still, no question. I do agree that Justin Jefferson is probably second. Like, It's so hard for me to put, and I know I have a soft spot for Justin Jefferson. I really do. It's hard for me to fault really much of this season on him at all because he has like the worst catchable target rate in the NFL. Like it's like 50-something%. It's insane. So that, I mean, he can't control that. And the Rams offense, McVay's really good, and he's playing with the best quarterback in football right now, like playing the best in the NFL. So, but that's still, yeah. I mean, he's tied for second. Can we say that he's tied for second?
Yeah. So here's what I'll say, and I love Stafford. I love the Rams. When we did a couple weeks ago, I said what I want the rest of this regular season. I want the Rams to make the Super Bowl, and I want Stafford to win the MVP. Like I am in on this team. I love them. After that interception, Darnold threw. They had the ball up 16, 9 minutes and 40 seconds left. Here's how their offense went. 3 and out, where they had a punt return for a touchdown. Get the ball back. 3 and out. Seattle scores in 2 plays. To get the ball back. 3 and out. Punt again. They get the ball back. 7 plays, missed field goal. They get the ball back again with a chance to win it. 7 and out. End of regulation. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. And I know they were fantastic the first 3 quarters, and then they were great in overtime too. I get that. I still think he's the MVP. I do. Can you give me 3 points to end the game? 3 points would have ended it. And I get it. He got in field goal range. The guy missed a 51-yard field goal.
Well,
so give him a break there.
Yeah.
But collapses like that aren't just on defenses. Like the offense has to either not run enough clock out, not be able to put a drive together. That was not a great look for the Rams. And that's the biggest missed opportunity any team has gone through all year. That was the division is over if you win this game. The division's over. And you completely own Seattle.
You mean you basically lock the 1 seed?
Lock up the 1 seed. And they let it slip through. And now, in all likelihood, they still could get the 1 seed. In all likelihood, they don't get another home game this year after the regular season. They don't get 1 home game in the playoffs. In all likelihood, that's a tough pill to swallow.
That's crazy.
Tough pill to swallow.
You don't love it if you're the Rams. You don't love it.
No. And here's another thing.
They've still got everything in front of them.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. They got everything in front of them.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, you're on the road in Seattle, and like you said, 12th man. Once that momentum flipped, I mean, you can't hear yourself in that stadium. No. It's not possible. I guess I'm trying not to make an excuse, but that's a tough situation.
They're now 3rd in the division. They're
insane.
3rd in their own division.
Matthew Stafford has like 40 touchdowns, 5 picks. Their defense is playing great.
Yeah,
and they're 3rd.
And they were 3rd. And this is where, dude, you cannot, when you're in a division this good, you don't get to lose to the Carolina Panthers. I'm sorry. You don't get afforded those losses. Philadelphia in that division, they can have a slip up.
No.
Right? Some of these other teams, Pittsburgh this year, they've been able to have slip ups. When you're in this division and you got Kyle Shanahan and you got this Seattle roster, you don't get to lose to the Panthers. And they did. And now they're fighting and clawing on the road in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, you're looking at say they don't win the division. I haven't looked at the standings or how it would pan out. If they don't win the division and either the Seahawks or the 49ers win it, what seed would they be? Would they get the 6th? Would they get the 5th seed?
Right now they would be the 6th.
Or would it depend on how
right
those
now
two
they
win?
would be the 6th. But if Seattle wins the division, that would mean San Francisco's going to have 5 losses. If they can win out, they'll probably get the 5. And then, as of right now, that would be at Carolina in round 1. And you think, oh, well, that's great. Except they already lost there. Now, I don't think they would lose a playoff game there. But
I don't think
they literally lost there. They played them in that stadium and lost. So, yeah, I hate it. I still, if It's to the place now with them not being the 1 seed. I don't know what my pick will be in the NFC when we get to playoff time. If they would have been the 1 seed, it would have been them going away. Now I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm with you. I still think that the best team in the NFL, top to bottom. But
going on the road's tough.
It doesn't matter when you don't have that home field advantage.
It's gonna be hard.
I mean, people picked against the Chiefs 2 years ago when they the first time. Oh, they don't have home field advantage through the playoffs. People picked against them, and it was not easy. Yep. So we'll see. Saturday, we had 2 games there. I don't know how much time we need to spend on Eagles-Commanders. I mean, the Eagles did what they need against the Commanders without Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, I mean, no, the game-wise, no, there's nothing we need to talk about. Still not great vibes in Philly. I don't know how to explain it. Every game, there's a clip that comes out. There's something that comes out, and the vibes are not good. They didn't have great vibes last year, and they won the Super Bowl, so who knows? But looking at this NFC picture as of right now, there's still 2 weeks left, or a week left in the season, I guess, or 2 weeks left in the season, yeah. I mean, I would put them as like the 5th or 6th team I would pick in the NFC at this point. Maybe 4th, but I don't know.
I would pick San Francisco, Seattle, and the Rams all over them.
I would have picked Green Bay.
Honestly,
if
maybe
and we've seen Chicago win in Philly.
We'll talk about another team here in a minute. Yeah,
but that's all.
Speaking of Chicago, man, I was close to saying this was one of the biggest. I think I was texting y'all in the group chat that this is one of the biggest or hardest pills to swallow if you're a Bears fan, because Jordan Love goes out early in the game. They bring in Malik Willis, and they're losing the entire time. Malik Willis is moving the ball against them seemingly very effectively, and your offense is stalling out. You get settling for field goals, and it took a onside kick, and then truly the best. You know how we said earlier this year, Green Bay, the pick was the worst. Like, that's the biggest moment of Caleb's career, and he throws the pick. This time, in the biggest moment of his career, he throws a 46-yard dime. So
absolutely came through.
It wasn't pretty, but I was incredibly impressed that they, like, from 6 seconds on, like, through overtime.
Oh yeah, I mean, I went to sleep. I went to sleep early in the 4th quarter of this game. Obviously, woke up, saw what happened, and watched the end. But look, a lot can be true about this game. Like, a lot can be true about the Bears. So we've had a love-hate relationship with the Bears all year, and if we can be honest, a little more hate than love. Yeah. If we can be honest with the Bears.
I mean, they were like 8-2, and we had like a 10-minute segment on like why we don't trust the Bears, basically.
This is another win, which is like so many of their wins this year. One of my critiques all year has been, I don't think they've played a good game. This is another win that I could go through, and maybe I will when we talk about the Packers, poke holes through it, right? We could go the Jordan Love gets hurt route. We could go the offense is dead for whatever, 55 minutes of this game or whatever we want to say. We could poke holes through it. We could poke holes through Caleb's play. But at the end of the day, they have so many games where it's like they didn't play well. They did this, and they won. I feel the same way with the Broncos. At a certain point, they're just good. They just find ways. They just figure it out. And
I was going to compare them a little bit to the Patriots, who we will talk about later. Like, I think the Patriots are better. Don't get me wrong there, I guess, but they feel like the teams that are like the Patriots, Bears, and Broncos feel like the teams that still should be a year out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe.
But they're still doing it right now.
Maybe. So
I guess that's...
Yeah, but we are seeing one thing you love. You absolutely have to love, if you are a Bears fan, is Caleb is much better now than he was in week 1. Period. We have seen a lot of growth from him.
I mean, I remember the first month we were talking on this podcast. We're like, do Caleb and Ben Johnson fit? Is that going to work? I don't know.
They're figuring it out. And now we're not getting offensive explosions, right? They're not going out there and scoring 40 points. But in big moments, Ben Johnson, okay, we got to go here. In big moments, Ben Johnson, yes, calls great plays. But also, first drive of the game, you're going down to score. And you throw a snap in between your tight end's legs to, how tall is this guy? Like 5'8"? Yeah. Isn't he like 5'8" or something? And you snap it over his head.
Yeah, he's
and you
not
got to settle for a field goal. That is, or no, that was on 4th down. Excuse me. You don't settle for a field goal. That was 4th and 1. That was as bad as it gets. But that aside, Ben Johnson, when it comes down to it, draws up good plays, calls the right game. And, man, Caleb, he's gotten a lot better. And this was the biggest win for the Bears in probably a decade. I'd have to go back and look. But, like, I don't remember a Bears win this big.
Probably.
Maybe longer than that.
Probably longer
than that.
This might be legitimately like the past 30 years. Like, they haven't had moments like this since the 80s.
Yeah. And so everything is in front of them now. I think they haven't locked up the division mathematically. I think they're going to win the division. Now, the Bears do have San Francisco and Detroit left. Detroit, that's lost a little bit of luster the past few weeks, but
Detroit is gettable.
It's gettable. You still got to beat them, and they're really going to want to beat the Bears. Oh, my goodness, they're going to want to beat the Bears. You think Detroit isn't going to want to knock Ben Johnson down a seed or two if they can? They're going to be fired up for that one. So
they're going. I mean, didn't Detroit or like week 2 beat them like 52 to 10 or something?
And that's part of it. That's probably still sticking in my head a little bit. But man, this team is better than they were in week 2. And I don't think they're a threat to reach the Super Bowl. But I don't think they're an easy playoff game either. Like, do I think they could lose in round 1? Yes. Will I?
No, especially if they get a home playoff game and you got to go to Soldier Field in January. Right. That's not fun.
No, that's not fun. So let me pull up the standings just real quick because I feel like they're going to be the 2 or 3. I think they're going to be right there with Philly to see who gets the 2 or 3. Right now, they're the 2. They're a game ahead of Philly. Philly has Buffalo and the Rams. Chicago has. But they also hold the tiebreaker, Philly. They're going to be the 2 seed. They are going to be the 2 seed. Straight out.
Wow.
And so you're looking at probably Green Bay in round 1 in Chicago. It's going to be a rematch of the game we just saw.
Oh,
and Jordan Love's going to be playing.
That's going to be a bad blood game. That's going to be a bad.
That's going to be a bad blood game. Jordan Love's going to be playing. That's going to be a lot of fun, though. Oh my goodness, that's a fun round 1.
Oh man!
And here's the thing: like that, this is a great win, and I love it for the Bears, dude. If Green Bay comes in there and beats them in round 1 of the playoffs, a season that should be a success no matter what, with the growth we've seen from this team and the growth we've seen from Caleb. Man, that's going to leave a sour taste. But we'll get there when we get there.
Like if they lost to the Rams or if they lost to the 49ers,
that's way
it
different.
Won't matter. But if they lose to
that's
the
way
Packers,
different. If Big Brother comes back into town and beats you when it matters, that's going to be a problem. But we'll get there when we get there. But good win for the Bears. Good win for the Bears.
Yeah, outstanding. We'll likely be able to speed through most of these.
Well, you want to talk Packers a little bit?
I got nothing. The only thing we're pulling for there.
You can talk Packers.
Oh shoot! I just completely skipped past the Packers. I'm sorry.
No, it's good.
We got stuck on the Bears. My head moved on.
It's good.
I do think Malik Willis played extremely well. He's played well in every time I've seen him when Jordan Love is hurt.
He's
every time.
Sneaky. And you know, they went out and traded for him. And usually I love to see when like an offensive coach goes out and trades for a backup that everyone thinks is no good. My ears always go up. I'm like, oh, he sees something. Like he sees something there where, you know, he doesn't think this guy's a starter, but I don't know if it's, you know, arm strength, mobility. I don't know what it was, but he saw something he liked.
I got a whole playbook for this guy for when he
saw
comes
something
in.
he liked, and look, man, he played well. 142 passer rating. Would it have been nice for somebody to recover an onside kick? Yes. And that's around the time I went to sleep when it was like, oh, they're gonna, they're onside kick and the game's over, because that's like an 8% recovery rate or something at this point. It just does not happen, and so, yeah, I mean, that's tough. It's tough to lose your quarterback. It's tough to, and I know Malik Willis comes in and plays well, but it's just different. Like, they still scored 16 points. It's just, even if a backup comes in and plays well, he's not the starter. The game would have been way different. So I don't know how the Packers are feeling about a rematch. I don't know if it's one of those things where, like, oh, we should have beat them, or I don't know what the deal is. But they've still got it in front of them. The Lions losing really helped them out. Now, if the Lions would have won, this would have been possibly a devastating loss. But with that Lions loss, they're fine. They're in good shape. I don't see them getting anything but the 7 seed. But that's going to earn them another round with the Bears in round 1.
Yeah, and they're licking their chops if they get a shot at the Bears. We good? We good on the Packers? Yeah, yep. All right, now we can go to the Falcons Cardinals. And the only thing I have to say is the only reason we're even interested is you and I are both on Bijan watch. He's trying to get him to 2,300 yards.
And this game didn't give me a lot of hope for that. Not because he wasn't awesome. Look, if you've never sat down and watched the Falcons, do yourself a favor and just watch number 7. Now, don't watch the Falcons. Just watch number 7. Like, they play on Monday night next week, so you're going to have a chance. They're in prime time. It's the Rams. It was a really tough matchup, but he had like 170 yards in this game or something, total yards. So that's great. But it seemed like in the fourth quarter, like, they're going to limit his touches the last couple weeks. I feel like he wasn't on the field a lot in the fourth quarter. So I don't feel hopeful for him getting 2,300 yards. I think he needs to average like just shy of 140 total yards a game. Maybe like 135, something like that, the last 2 games, which is very possible for him because the last month he's been averaging like 170. So, but we'll just see. We'll see. But he is, I mean, he is one of the most fun players in the league to watch. He had a cutback in this game. It was like a 30-yard run. They got called back because of a penalty.
They got called back.
But, dude, I know which one you're talking about. He's fun to watch.
Like, he's going to the left, and he gets past the defensive line. Linebackers are still there. He cuts to the right and just somehow leaves everyone.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun.
The only other thing that's mildly interesting to me is we are sneakily seeing a Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, we are.
Like, I don't even know if it's sneaky at this point. This is what we envisioned 5 years ago for Kyle Pitts.
Well,
it is a contract year. We'll see what happens in Atlanta, but
we envision him being
it's fun to
Trey
see.
McBride or Brock Bowers, but we'll take this too. We'll take this.
Yeah, this is
we'll
fine
take
with
him
me.
being.
I've got nothing on Saints Jets. Do you?
No. Well, one thing, real quick.
Bills. Go ahead.
Saints won. We'll talk about this. I am interested to see what they do because now that they have won 5 games, 3 in a row, and a lot of the college quarterbacks are choosing to go back to school, Tyler Shook going on this winning streak may have bought him another year starting in the NFL. Do I think he's the guy? Do I think he's a franchise guy?
Possibly.
I haven't seen that yet, but they may not have any other options. So that's one interesting thing to see what they do this offseason.
Yep. Yeah, we'll see. I feel like there are going to be some options in free agency.
Yeah, but if it's
likely Kyler Murray is gone, we'll see what happens with like a Kirk Cousins maybe.
But maybe we shouldn't go into 10 minutes on Tyler Shook, but I just think would you rather roll with Tyler Shook in a year you know you're not going to win the Super Bowl, or would you rather trade a 3rd round pick for Kyler Murray? and pay him all that money. I'd just rather have Tyler Shook for his contract in the third, and maybe there'll be better options next year, or so it's just, I'll just sprinkle that. It'll be interesting to see what the Saints do. It'll be interesting because they've got like the
they might
8th or 9th pick
probably
right
a conversation
after these wins.
Yeah. And this is probably a conversation better just saved for the offseason, really. All right. Bills, Browns. I don't have a ton. I will say the Bills were trying to bill because the Bills like to lose gimme games. Do. They have a habit under Allen and McDermott to like win the Giant game and then like lose to the Jets.
Yeah, and Ben, there are too many of these. There are too many just they survived. And look, in the NFL, sometimes you just have to survive and get a win. I get that. They're in a tight race, coming off a big win. They get the Browns. That is a classic look-ahead game, and they survived it. Good for them. There's a little too many of these games than I would like, though, for a serious Super Bowl contender.
Oh, obviously, for sure. And the stats are a little weird. Josh Allen does really not much in this game. He's like 12 and 19, 130 yards, doesn't turn the ball over. Actually does get banged up. He's got a foot injury right now. They said he's probably going to be fine. They're expecting him to play next week.
He's going to play.
I'm hopeful. Maybe this is just look, it's Myles Garrett. It's the Browns defense. Let's not get too crazy. Let's win an ugly one. And that's all they needed. So that's what I'm hoping.
What they did.
Is the
that's
case.
What they did.
I did hate that the sack where Josh Allen, I don't know if you saw it, where he was like rolled back. It was not a great sack, and then he just falls, and like Garrett and the other defensive tackle are like scrambling to touch him, and the other guy gets to him first.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that you can't think about in the moment when you're playing, but I'm sure 30 seconds later the guy was like, "Oh man, like I should have gave it to Myles," but you can't think about that during the game. So
yeah. I know Myles was thinking about it during that.
That's all he has to think about.
He was
ask
thinking
any
about
of the reporters in Cleveland. That's all he's got to think about. So,
but anyway, I've got nothing on the Browns. Do you?
Poor Quinshon. I mean that sucks.
But
I saw today. It's a very similar injury to Scadaboo's, but I don't remember the reasoning. But his timeline is 4 to 6 months, is what's being reported. Where Scadaboo's is closer to 9 or 10. So like that's good news. It's similar to that, but it's different. 4 to 6 months, he's going to be back. So
I would imagine he starts slow to begin, like probably the first month next year. Then if that's the case, you're saying he's going to start pretty slow, and then second half he'll be fine. That's good. Titans Chiefs. Is it fair to say Mahomes was covering a lot of flaws?
So that's the only thing. Like, props to the Titans. They won. I need you to win a couple more, Titans. Just you want that 5th or 6th pick. I know you do. Just win a couple more. But yeah, it is possible that the Chiefs roster is not very good, Ben. It is possible. To the point where like we'll see what they look like the last 2 weeks. I'm going to make a prediction. They get hammered this week by the Broncos because the Broncos need to win, nationally televised, been little brother for years. Oh, they are going to tee off on this Chiefs team.
Do you?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be bad. And then they have Las Vegas at the end. I would say, I just think this offense, the state it is in, especially with no Rashee Rice in this game, where the offensive line is, where this running game is, I think the list of quarterbacks that could have made this offense look functional the last month is Mahomes and Allen, and that's it. I think those are the only two guys that make, and then they leave, and this is what they look like against the Titans. With Gardner Minshew, who's an average backup. And I know he got hurt, but like they weren't lighting it on fire when he was healthy. So this team's bad. They got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a few teams that are in similar situations to the Chiefs of teams like the Bills, teams like the Ravens, and teams like the Bengals. If they do not have their guy, they have so many flaws that it looks like this when Mahomes doesn't play. It's going to look like this if Allen doesn't play. You know what it looks like for the Bengals if Burrow doesn't play or Lamar.
I would at this point. I would be shocked.
It's like I said.
I would be shocked at this point if they don't use a top 2 round pick or give out a legitimate free agent contract to a running back next year. I would circle ETN, Walker, or Breece Hall. I don't think the Jags will let ETN walk, but if they did, one of those 3 or drafting a running back in the first 2 rounds, I think that is very on the board for this team.
I was going to say, I think this might be one of those best case scenario situations for the Chiefs. I mean, now you're 6-9. If they lose out, you're potentially looking at a top, they could get to top 10 pick, potentially.
Yeah. Oh, easy.
Which would be fantastic for them. I genuinely think that's best case. You say goodbye to Travis Kelce. I know it stings, but you got to let him go. That's going to free up so much cap space. They're way over the cap. So getting that top 10 pick and cutting loose from a lot of guys and manipulating this cap is going to be their best case scenario. And they're setting up Will to do that.
Yep.
So overall, I like it for the Chiefs. All right. Let's see. If my app will load.
We got Vikings and Giants. I don't have much there.
Yeah, let's go Vikings Giants.
JJ gets hurt. Nope. Weird year. I don't know how you evaluate this. If you're the Vikings, I think the only way he's back starting next year is if there's just no other option, right? They're going to explore.
I think it's got to be.
They're going to explore a lot of things, I feel like.
Did you watch any of this game? It was painful to watch.
Why?
I didn't watch much of it, but I watched bits and pieces of it here and there, and it was Dart and McCarthy just trading horrible.
All right, let me just read this to you.
It was one of the worst quarterback games I've ever seen. Let me just read this to you.
JJ McCarthy, 9 of 14 for 108 yards, no touchdowns and a pick. Not great. He massively outplayed Jackson Dart. 7 of 13, 33 yards, no touchdowns and a pick. 5 sacks. Yeah, no, I did not watch this game.
I'm not going to defend Jackson Dart for that horrendous play, but I will use that to throw JJ McCarthy under the bus because Jackson Dart has a worse offensive line. He has lost his number 1 receiver, Malik Neighbors,
and running back.
Year. He has no head coach and running back versus JJ McCarthy has healthy running backs, a great offensive line, one of the best offensive minds in football. Oh, and a healthy Justin freaking Jefferson.
Name. I've heard his name.
I rest my case.
Yep.
I rest my case. Let's move on before I get even louder. 3 games left. We'll talk about this one quick. I enjoyed it. It was the best game of the day to watch on Sunday, probably. Bengals and Miami Dolphins. Joe Burrow said that was fun.
Yeah, that one was more fun.
And
that one was more fun. The only thing I really have is the reporting is that they expect Mike McDaniels to be back next year. Which, do I like? Do I think McDaniels is clever and I think he's clever. Do I think he's a good head coach in the NFL? I don't love it at this point. I mean, he's had success, no playoff success. He's had success. I just don't like bringing in a GM and keeping the head coach. The GM's going to want to pick his guy. If it is not going unbelievably well next year, McDaniels is going to get fired. Why not just let the GM bring in his own guy? I don't get it, but we'll see what they choose to do. And luckily for you, I don't see us having more than 2 more games of Zach Taylor as the head coach of the Bengals. I don't foresee that.
Are you sure? Because I saw a report this week that apparently the Bengals either lied or fudged the numbers, and apparently he's under contract until like 2027 or 2028.
Yeah, and truthfully,
so if that is the case, and the Bengals
that's
are
the
cheap,
thing.
dude, they're not going to buy
that's
out
the
a
thing.
head
For a
coach.
lot of I'm sorry. If I'm Cincinnati, this is a year where there's going to be good openings. Or there's going to be good coaches that are looking for a job. There just are. If I'm Cincinnati and Kevin Stefanski's available, which he will be, if Brian Daboll's available, which he is, I'm sorry. I'm interested, but whatever.
I know what the right decision is, but the Bengals organization will not make it.
That is true. That's a good
They won't
point.
do
No
it.
matter what's right, they're not going to do it. Right? Okay. That's a good point. That's a good. Kyle Shanahan could be available. They're sticking with Zach Taylor.
Yeah. Kyle Shanahan could come out and outright say, I want to coach Joe Burrow and Jamar
You know what they would do?
No, not going to do it.
They would trade Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase.
Extend
They
Zach
would
Taylor?
trade Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase.
Which,
That
hopefully
would be
they do that
fantastic.
anyway, but
Yeah.
I digress.
Purdy and Kittle. Who says no?
Yes. All right. Bengals might not. I don't know. All right. We're getting sidetracked. Panthers,
It's the big
Bucks. Dude. What do you want me to say?
one.
I mean, I think it's going to be Ben Johnson wins Coach of the Year, but I think it should be Dave Canales.
I think Canales is really good. So these are the most boring, intense games you'll ever watch is the Carolina Panthers. Every game is super intense and it's super boring. Nothing good happens. But you kind of get to the end and you're like, maybe, I don't know. And then they win. And it's like, whatever. I don't have a lot game wise. I really don't. Like I said, nothing really happens. I do think Canales is very sharp. I think he knows how limited he is at quarterback. Like he's not a dumb guy. He looks around. They've played the Bills this year. They've played the Rams this year. They've played teams with quarterbacks where you're like, okay, we don't have a chance. He's figured out a way to beat some of those teams. But I think he understands how limited they are. They're going to make the playoffs. They just are. Like a lot of things have to go. I don't know what the playoffs looks like as far as like tiebreakers and stuff between these two teams. I know they play again.
The Panthers play again. The Panthers play the Seahawks.
They're getting
in
slaughtered.
between
Yep, they're going to lose.
The Bucks. They're going to get murdered against the Seahawks for sure. And the Bucks have the Dolphins, and then they go to the Panthers. So odds are both of them are going to be 8-8 heading
I'm
into
not
that
convinced of that. Not with the Bucks. I don't know what the tiebreaker looks like, but
You think they lose to the Dolphins?
yeah, maybe.
I don't
think
know.
it's very possible.
I'm just
But the Panthers, good for them. Like I feel good for the Panthers. I feel good for Panthers fans. It's at least something to pull for, though I can't stress this enough. Their games are boring, but it's something to pull for. And yeah, good for them. That's all I got on the Panthers side.
as a Falcons fan, it's painful to watch both of these teams be so bad and us not even being in the running.
Oh, dude.
but
Oh, yeah. Come
it is what
on.
it is.
That's true. That's true.
It
Buck
sucks.
side,
All right.
Baker, he's got to be really hurt. I mean, the pick to end the game, yes, it was a miscommunication, but I
That was
mean,
bad.
it just, dude, that's the division right there. It's the whole division. It can't happen. And I don't know. This team, I thought they were really good about 2 months in. And since then, man, it has been atrocious down the stretch. It has been,
When they were 5-1.
it has been awful down the stretch.
They were 5-1. Now they're It's been 2-7 since then. They've gone 2-7.
Talk about the Colts fall off. I mean, this team is not far behind the Colts fall off. So, I mean, it sucks for Bucs fans. They still have a chance, right? Beat the Dolphins, beat the Panthers, you're probably in. But I don't have confidence in them doing that, and I certainly don't have confidence if they get in.
No. They're there. Whichever one of these teams gets in, that's like the easiest pick.
My biggest Bucs take will come later in the show when we talk about a different team. That's what I'll say.
Yep. Interesting. Well, let's move it all along then. Welcome to the playoffs, Los Angeles Chargers, Justin Herbert. The only asterisk I've got is it was against Dallas' defense, which sucks, but holy cow, Justin Herbert lit them up. And it was fun to watch. I really enjoyed it.
He was fantastic.
As a Herbert fan, I really enjoyed this.
He was fantastic.
And Quentin Johnston looked like a real receiver. Did you notice that?
I mean, you get that about half the games, maybe a third of the games. He looks like a real receiver.
Like 3 or 4 times a year.
This one, look, man, this is one of those games where I was watching it and I was just like, I really hate this team's offensive tackle situation. Because if they just had one of those guys, never mind both. If they just had Slater or what's the big boy, Joe Alt, if they just had one of them, I would like this team in this version of the AFC. I really would. Like, think we might be looking at a real Super Bowl contender at that point. I don't know if they're going to be there in the end. Dallas does some good things on defense, but it's mostly stopping the run. Their pass rush is not great. So they don't have what it takes to take advantage of the tackles. Now, the pass rush they do have comes honestly from the defensive tackles. So that's guard, center, guard. So they couldn't exploit the tackles. So that was great for the Chargers.
Well, they had 0 sacks.
And there are teams in the AFC who obviously will be able to exploit those tackles. So I still don't feel like I can really trust them.
Just wait till this coming week when they play the Texans.
So I still don't feel like, or Broncos, I still don't feel like I could really trust them in the playoffs because of that. But I hate that because I like a lot of what else is on this team. A lot of it.
Yeah, and I hate that too for the same reason. Like, you can sit here and say, well, this bodes well for them next year. And it does. It does bode well for them next year because they're very, very young. Most of their core is. And you're going to have your O-line back next year. But you don't know that the AFC is going to look like this next year either. It's not going to be this winnable. So
next year, you could be looking at Lamar. You could be looking at Burrow. You could be looking at Mahomes. Those guys aren't going to be there this year. So, man, it would be awesome. Awesome if those tackles were here this year. I hate it, but I don't know if there's a team in the NFL this team couldn't beat in the playoffs, if that makes sense. Like, I think they could beat anybody.
Yeah.
But I think their floor with those tackles is pretty low. So I think they could lose to a lot of teams just if they only have a pass rush. So we'll see down the stretch. They do play Denver to end. They control their own destiny. Did you realize that?
That's tough.
They control their own destiny. So it's ahead of them. I don't know if it's in there with this offensive line.
I knew they control their own destiny, but that offensive line is so bad it feels like they don't, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, Justin Herbert has to be a literal superhuman for them to control their own destiny. Which he can do.
Yeah.
Which he can do, but I don't want to count on it. All right, 4:00 window. Let's go Raiders Texans first. It's an ugly game, but there was never really a threat of the Texans losing, if that makes sense, I guess. Like, I was never worried.
It was definitely ugly. Like, it was for sure, like, it was awful. The offense looked terrible. Defense, actually, like, the Raiders moved it on them a little bit. But, like, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is their 7th or 8th straight win. 1, 2. Yeah, this is their 7th straight win. Like, this is a classic look-ahead game. They have the Chargers next week, and they finish up with the Colts with a lot out in front of them. Like, they got a lot left in front of them. this was a classic look-ahead game, and they survived. So I'm not going to hold it against the Texans too much.
Yeah. Only thing I got on the Vegas side is if Ashton Jeanty was on a team with a literal pulse at offensive line, he would be the best running back in football. My gosh,
it's in
so
there.
Good.
It's in there. Make no mistake.
He's incredible. Jaguars and Broncos. Dude, I don't remember if I text you or not, but I remember thinking in this game, like, Trevor's been on a heater, but in Mile High, this is about to be an ugly game for Trevor Lawrence. Like, I thought this was going to be bad. And I come out of the game thinking Trevor Lawrence has a shot to win the MVP.
He's going to get votes. He would have a lot of work to do to win the MVP at this point because he had so many really bad games. Like, the passer rating is still like 89 or something. Like, it's not great, but the last month, 6 weeks, he's been awesome. But we've talked about many times this year. We've come on after the game, even when they win, and we're like, Jags fans, how do you watch Trevor Lawrence play football for 60 minutes every week? Because it is just so awful at times. But dude, has he cleaned it up? And
I mean, the past month, like he had 5 weeks ago, they played the Cardinals, right? He has 3 touchdowns and 3 picks. Since then, he goes 229 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. 244, 2 touchdowns, no picks. 330, 5 touchdowns, no picks. 279, 3 touchdowns, no picks.
Crazy. So,
and they're all division matchups.
So, obviously, Trevor's always had the talent, right? Like, Trevor's a guy who, he was Caleb Williams before Caleb Williams. Right? He was that guy from the time he was a freshman at Clemson. People talked about him nonstop, right? And it hasn't worked out. He had a disaster year one. Doug Peterson comes in, and Doug Peterson's a real NFL coach, but it didn't work out. Liam Cohen has not gotten enough credit this year. And I'm not so sure he's not going to win Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, we talk about Ben Johnson and Caleb, but it was ugly at the beginning of the year. Like, especially thinking back week 2, when, like, he does something and they get that clip of Liam Cohen screaming at Trevor Lawrence from the sideline, like, hit him in his chest kind of stuff. And the same kind of conversations that we were having about Johnson and Caleb, like, is this going to work? We're like, does Trevor and Cohen work?
Absolutely.
And now
here we are. And, dude, he's really good. And this team is really good. Like, this win makes me think, do I think they're going to make the Super Bowl? No. A week ago, I would have told you there's no chance they make the Super Bowl. Now, I don't think they make it. But if you came back from a time machine and said the Jags make the Super Bowl, I wouldn't be completely shocked. I'd be surprised, but not completely shocked. They're really good. There's a lot to like about this roster. There really is. So I said earlier, my biggest take for the Bucs is going to come from a different game. It's one thing to look at how much the player that is on the team has improved. To see how much Trevor has improved is a big deal. But also, you can look at the team that coach left and see what's happening with what he controlled on that team. Do you remember where he left?
He left Tampa
Does
Bay.
it look a little different in Tampa this year? Slightly. Liam Cohen must be really good. He leaves Tampa.
That was a joke.
Yeah, he leaves Tampa. They added a first-round receiver, and Baker has been nowhere close to what he was last year. He comes to the Jags, and Trevor Lawrence is starting to play legit football. You know, could it just be a hot month? Maybe, but this team's really good.
And look at what Trevor's doing it with, too. And this is not to slight these guys by any means, but like Brian Thomas Jr. has fallen off the map from what he was his rookie year. I don't know what the deal is there, but he's nowhere close to what he was his rookie year. Travis Hunter is out for the year, so he's not even playing. That's your first round pick that you traded 2 firsts to go up and get. and they trade for Jacoby Myers, who, like you said last week, I mean, he is a very good NFL receiver. He's never going to be a true number one, anything like that. But what he brings to an offense is excellent. And Parker Washington is the other guy.
Yeah. And Myers, they just extended him, by the way.
That's impressive.
They gave me a 3-year extension. But
yeah, they did.
Here's what I'll say. I've been thinking about BTJ. What's going on with him? I watched this whole game. Opposing defenses will tell you what they think of a player. You know who Patrick Surtain was shadowing in this game?
True.
It wasn't Jacoby Myers. It wasn't Parker Washington.
Brian Thomas
it was
Jr.
BTJ. And they were using him as a decoy, which is fine. You can do that. I don't know what the deal is with BTJ, but opposing defenses still understand this is the guy we need to circle. I don't know what's going on.
He's one of those players that he's one of those, it's one play.
It can be.
Like a Tyreek or a Jamar Chase. I'm like, if I screw up on one play with him, it's a touchdown.
So I don't know what's going on fully, but it would be different if, they put Surtain on Myers and then we're like, leaving BTJ alone and he wasn't performing. That would be one thing. The fact that opposing defenses are still like, this is the guy we need to double, this is the guy we need to put our attention on, tells me it's not gone. I don't know what's happening though. But regardless, the Jags, man, they're a legit team. This is in Denver. This is a tough place to play. Even though I still don't super believe in the Broncos as a Super Bowl contender, it's a big win.
Yeah, I do enjoy the memes, and they make me funny. It's like where people say, I don't think the Broncos are very good. I just can't prove it yet.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, that's where I am with the Broncos. Their defense is legit. I'm not going to argue that. Their defense is legit. Although Trevor Lawrence had one of his best games of his career against this defense, I still think they're very good.
Still had 5 sacks.
I don't really know what to tell you about the Broncos offense. It's an offense that doesn't make much sense.
We're 16 weeks in, and they're 12-3, and I still don't know how good they are. Like, they're good. They're definitely good. They're a legit playoff team. But I personally can't see this team making a Super Bowl.
They've beat good teams.
They have, but I personally can't see this team making a Super Bowl, even in this AFC. I just can't see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't think their offense is good enough. You saw it against the Jags. I mean, when one quarterback figures out that defense or an offense is able to put up some points on them, they're gonna panic. And they panic.
I know they were losing, but this was a relatively close ball game for a lot of the game. Like, I know they lost by 14.
Yeah.
And we are both pushing through. I mean, we are about to die on this podcast tonight. My goodness.
I was literally just thinking, like, my voice is going away.
Anyways. But, like, it wasn't a completely out of reason game far away. And Bo Nix throws the ball 47 times. RJ Harvey averaged 7.1 yards a carry. He got 7 carries. Jaleel McLaughlin, 7.4 yards a carry, 5 carries. That's not enough. Like, I get it. Neither of those guys are bruisers. Neither of those guys are bell cows. Can you give them 12 carries apiece when you're running it at 7 yards a clip? I don't know. I didn't love the play calling, but, they were down, so I'll give them a little bit of a break. Sean Payton is still excellent, but I just don't think Bo Nix is making a Super Bowl, even in this AFC.
Yep. All right. We got to move on, though. Steelers and Lions. The Steelers' run game is incredible. They look good, pretty much all the way around. I don't know where you want to begin with this game for the Steelers. There's kind of a few things to talk about.
The only negative I'll say is one of the biggest disasters I've ever seen their last drive of the game. It was the 7-play, 48-yard missed field goal. They only run 2 minutes off the clock because they kept running out of bounds. I text you. I was like, what are they doing? They're going to lose the game because they just keep running out of bounds for no reason. But other than that, it was kind of like a big brother game. They kind of just kept them at arm's length the whole time. And we're like, we got this. It never felt like they were in jeopardy of losing until they kept running out of bounds with 2 minutes left. What I want to say about the Steelers, and neither one of us have believed in them all year. We've always thought the Ravens were going to come back and win the division. I don't think that anymore, obviously. Can we give props to Aaron Rodgers? Can we give some props to Aaron Rodgers?
I think I said this last week or 2 weeks ago, how, like, I'm glad after the Jets debacle that this happened. So, like, the last memory we have of Aaron Rodgers, because he's going to retire after this year. The last memory we have of Aaron Rodgers is him on the Steelers making the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, and they're a legit playoff team. Probably a month ago, I would have said if they make it, they're losing by 30 in round 1. I don't feel that way anymore. Do I think in the right matchup? Like, do I think if TJ Watt is back in place, do I think they might could beat the Chargers? Maybe. Like, I don't think I'd pick them.
Well, I think their defense tightening up been the big game changers. Their defense has not been great all year. And in the past few weeks, it has really tightened up.
It has. But if they get the 4 seed and the Chargers get the 5 seed, do I think they could win a home playoff game against the Chargers? I do think that. And in the past several years, they go into the playoffs and they're playing Mahomes or they're playing the Ravens or they're playing whoever. It's like they're getting throttled. Everyone knows it. They know it. There's no chance they win. I don't really feel that way this year. Like if Buffalo gets the 5 seed, okay, I don't know if they're beating Buffalo. But if Houston or the Chargers get it, like, I think they could win that game.
Yeah, no, it's possible.
Good for
this. I mean, like we've been saying, it's the most wide open the AFC is, and this is a good team. It doesn't always look pretty at times, but it is a good team. Now, they may not win another game this season with DK Metcalf deciding to punch a fan.
Yeah,
that's an interesting story. Believe me.
Yeah, but I feel like that one's been covered enough. That's not our lane. We're not in the gossip business, so we don't need to go there. But like that,
no,
that's a disaster. But maybe it doesn't affect them if they can beat Cleveland this week. So,
well, he will be back for the playoffs.
Yeah.
He'll be back for the playoffs. They've already. I mean,
they haven't clinched yet. So as long as they can take care of business against Cleveland,
yeah. They'll be fine. On the Lions side, Landon, would you like to read the Lions rushing stats, please?
The Lions running backs, not including Jared Goff, running backs ran the ball 11 times for 16 yards. And they lost.
And we say not including quarterbacks because Jared Goff had a -1.
And so I've used that stat all year. Is it overly simplistic? Yes. And a little bit, again, I will admit, when you are down, when you're losing, you just run the ball less, right? You throw it to try to catch up. I use that stat, though, because this team is different. This team last year, when they were rolling, they ran the ball up, down, didn't matter. They're running it, right? That is how they function. Jared Goff, and he had great stats in this game. Jared Goff can manipulate the game and win games and sustain drives when you are really worried about the running game. When you're not, and you can just pin your ears back and rush him, he struggles a bit. And they haven't been able to run the ball the same this year. I don't know if it's the retirement of Ragnow. I don't know. I don't know what and all the details are, but it just hasn't been the same this year. And they sit here at 8-7, and I don't think they're eliminated from the playoffs, but their chances are basically dead at this point.
It's tough. It's very tough. I don't think we need to spend a ton of time there. I mean, Jared Goff is putting up stats and not turning the ball over, which is impressive. But
I mean,
still.
if you would have told me,
all right,
the only thing you tell me about the game, the Lions have 11 rushing attempts from the running backs. Jared Goff throws it 54 times. I would say there's no way they win. No chance. 0 chance they win, because that's not how they want to play. The Steelers dictated the game the whole time, forced them into that. They couldn't make it work.
Yeah. All right. The Ravens and the Patriots. Patriots come back on the road and win 28-24. I don't really have a ton to say on the Patriots side. I think this is the way they've played all year. I think the Patriots are extremely good. I feel similarly to them that I do to the Bears. I think they're one of those really good teams. I just don't know if it's necessarily this year. I could be dead wrong on both of them. I just don't know if it's this year for them. But they're good.
Yeah,
top to bottom.
I definitely. I've got more to say on the Ravens. I want to spend some time on the Ravens, but the Patriots. The only thing I'll say is, I was really impressed with Drake May in this game, and the reason is he was not.
He finally throws for 300
first
yards.
time since he played Duke. Another reason I love him. He was not. This had the makings of the worst moment of his career. Like, it doesn't seem like that now, but you think at halftime, I think he had thrown a touchdown at that point. Yeah, he threw the touchdown, but he had thrown a pick in the red zone. Like, basically at the goal line, he had thrown a pick and he had fumbled. It was 10-10. He comes out of the half and they go 3 and out and they get -1 yard on the drive. That's looking like against this Ravens team without Lamar at this point. And it's like, oh my goodness, is he going to play this poorly and lose this game when he has everything in front of them? The Bills are going to catch them. And he rallies and is sensational the rest of the game. It is like,
I mean, the touchdown that he threw to Kyle Williams, like a 37-yarder, that you cannot throw that ball better. You can't throw that ball better.
How many third downs does this guy have to pick up to Stephon Diggs, or fourth downs, right? He had a 4th and 2 that was the game in the fourth quarter. He was excellent. Are the Ravens a great team? No, they've proven that over and over to us this year. This was a big win on the road, though. I know it was against, Tyler Huntley for most of the game, but this team is good. I'm going to say it. This is like the third AFC team I've said this about. They're good. I do not like their chances to make the Super Bowl at all. I don't know if it's even possible for them to make the Super Bowl this year. Maybe it is. But this has been a heck of a season for them, and they're very alive to win a playoff game, especially, if they can get the 1 seed, that would be unbelievable for this team.
I don't think it's out of the question they make the Super Bowl. Heck, I know it's not the exact same, but freaking Joe Burrow made the Super Bowl in his second year. So this is Drake May's second year. Not comparing them player to player, but I think it wouldn't be shocking to see them make the Super Bowl.
Burrow is probably better than Drake in his second year, but I think the Patriots are much better than that Bengals team. And yes, the schedule has still been soft. Sure. They've only beaten 2 teams that are currently over 500. Did you know that?
I didn't know that for stat, but I'm not surprised either because we've been harping on their schedule all year.
And some of that's weird math because Tampa's 1 game under, the Ravens are 1 game under. There's another team that's 1 game under, where it's like if they wouldn't have played them, they would be 500 or above. But so it's a little bit funny math, but good for the Patriots. Good for Drake May. I think this is the best moment of his career. I think it's the best game of his career. Not the best stat-wise, but I think him saving what could have been a disaster, bringing them a win was sensational.
Yeah. There's a lot more to say on the Ravens side. Obviously, Lamar gets banged up again. I don't know if you've been talking about it, and a lot of people have been covering it, so I don't know how much we need to spend, but he's missed like a practice every week for the past.
So that's
month.
The thing. About the game, I'll just say one thing about the game. I couldn't believe my eyes. 4 plays into the fourth quarter. All right, the first 4 plays of the fourth quarter, Derrick Henry has 4 carries, 31 yards, and a touchdown. Ben, if you had to guess the rest of the game, would you say he played less snaps than me, the same amount of snaps than me, or more snaps than me?
Well, your brain would tell you
more
snaps than
what you would think.
He is employed by the NFL, and you are not. But believe it or not, you were both tied.
We tied for the same amount of snaps, not carries, not targets. snaps. And at that point, he had 18 for 128 and 2 touchdowns, 7 yards a clip. Is that any good?
I would go as far as to say that is coaching malpractice.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
That is flat out coaching malpractice.
Coaching malpractice. And I know it
and you're winning the game at that point. They're winning at that point.
It was really only one drive.
Yeah, they're up 24-13.
It was really only one drive. And I know Harbaugh said, I wish I would have had him out there. Keaton was starting the drive. Look, man, I get it. 2 running backs is the thing now. It's what you do. And I understand it. In the biggest moments, put your guys out there. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? But anyways, aside from that, the Lamar stuff, I've got a prediction. I'm going to make a prediction right now. This is an off-season prediction. Harbaugh will be gone.
Okay.
Harbaugh is coaching his last couple of games for the Ravens. These next 2 weeks. Watch, I'm going to look like a complete idiot if they win out, make the playoffs, go on a run. But I think these are the last games that Harbaugh coaches for the Ravens. And then I think we are going to get some type of report that comes out this offseason. Maybe we have to wait a year or two, but somebody's going to have this, that things were so bad in the Ravens locker room between Lamar and Harbaugh that they were literally, they were not speaking to each other. Lamar was missing practices. I think their relationship has something to do with it. I can't prove it, but this is so weird. I don't know why he keeps missing practices. And like a few of these weeks.
But it's always like an illness or something. Is everything I see like Lamar's
he has missed practice with.
Sick with what?
Hamstring, ankle, foot, knee. Like all those and an illness. And a couple of these times, he's stayed at home because of the illness or whatnot. This is weird. I don't know what it is. I have a feeling this has something to do with their relationship. It's torn their season apart. I still think they're talented, but this is a dead team walking. It's been this way all year. This is weird. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I mean, you see the video of like a fan talking to Isaiah Likely leaving the stadium, and Likely, in polite terms, just basically said, "We suck."
Yeah, they do. They're not good.
Yeah,
they're not good. And man, this is a weird one. I do not think Harbaugh will be back. And I really think we're going to get some sort of report of something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about right now. And it's not going to be pretty. This is weird.
Which feels weird because I've always seen, I mean, obviously we don't know what happens behind closed doors. We really don't. But everything you've always seen is that Harbaugh is an extremely likable coach. Like everybody loves him. I've never seen a bad interaction between him and Lamar ever. Obviously, we only see a fraction of what actually happens. But
I really think that's what's going to happen. I mean, it's
something's
too weird.
Right.
And here's the other thing, Lamar, when he left this game, they're saying it's a back contusion. I am not one.
He took a knee to what I'm guessing is like, I mean, I've had it happen before, like where you play in pickup football or something. You take a knee to like the back and they hit like a kidney or something. I'm like, it hurts.
Yeah.
It really hurts.
I'm wondering if he didn't get like boxers or UFC fighters would call it a liver shot, which is like sends a shock to you. I'm wondering if that didn't happen, but like I don't want to call into question a guy's toughness, but I feel like that doesn't knock every quarterback in the league out for the game. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I was thinking when he left the game and they said it was a back injury, my thought was like, oh my goodness, he might have like lacerated his kidney or something. That's what I was thinking. And then it comes out back contusion.
That's what I thought.
Lacerated kidney, maybe broken rib on the backside, like back, and then it was back contusion. I was like, I don't know.
But I mean, you got guys like, I mean, and again, I don't want to compare guys, but like, if Patrick Mahomes cracks a rib, he's going to say, put some padding on this thing. I'm going back out there.
Their season's on the line. I don't know.
Josh Allen broke his nose and comes back in the game like 3 plays later.
I hate pointing this out, but it's always something with Lamar, and I don't know. He's been a little bit frustrating this year.
I mean, I'd say more than a little bit. I mean, this is getting out of hand. All right, we're running out of time. Let's go last game of the week. Colts 49ers. Not a ton here. I mean, the Colts collapse. We've been seeing it the whole time. The 49ers control their own destiny. They are fully I mean, I don't even know the word my brain was searching for. They're fully back. It doesn't matter they don't have Bosa. It doesn't matter they don't have Fred Warner. It doesn't matter they don't have Brandon Ayuk.
I want to give...
They got Purdy, McCaffrey, Kittle.
I want to give big props to Purdy, massive props to McCaffrey, and over-the-moon props to Shanahan. So Purdy, he's just a good player. Do I think they could have better spent the money they paid him? I think probably so, yes. But he's a good player. And this is, you get some of these games where he looks like this. Now, do I think he's a guy who can carry you when things aren't going well? I don't know. But when you're in this offense, there's not a lot of times things aren't going well. So, props to him. McCaffrey.
I mean, people,
okay,
I'll make a Jalen Hurts comparison for Brock Purdy. I mean, seriously.
No, I get it.
Because people always want to put Jalen Hurts, like, people want to argue, like, Jalen Hurts is great. And then the other argument is a situation. So I don't feel like we can argue for Jalen Hurts being great and discount his situation and not do the same for Purdy. Like, oh, well, it's just Shanahan, all this. Well, if it is, he's still perfect for what they want to do.
No.
And he has made Super Bowls. Super Bowls.
I mean, they're 11-4. They control their own destiny for the 1 seed. Like, props to him. Massive props to McCaffrey. I struggle to make these comments about football because, I know baseball history very well, so I can make like big comments about who's the greatest of all time at something and feel good about it. I don't know football like I do, and a lot of old heads get mad at me when I talk football with them like back in the day because I don't understand it, right? I feel confident saying,
"Oh, Marshall Faulk would have."
I feel confident saying, this is the greatest receiving running back of all time. I feel confident. I know Marshall Faulk had a couple big years, but like, if you're talking route running, if you're talking hands, if you're talking could play receiver in the NFL, McCaffrey, he's the greatest of all time. I would take him over Kamara. I would take him over any of these guys who are great that we've seen for years. There's nobody like him. Nobody.
The only knock that's ever been on him is the injuries.
Oh, absolutely.
Like if McCaffrey has two less injuries than he's had in his entire career, he's probably going down as the GOAT.
He's definitely,
like the greatest running back
no doubt,
of all
a
time.
first ballot Hall of Famer. And yet you're getting into some crazy conversations if that was the case. Yes. And then the over the moon props I'll give is Kyle Shanahan. This team, you're talking about Bosa goes down. You're talking about Warner goes down. Purdy misses a bunch of time. You got to play Mac Jones, who we've seen him be cast out by multiple teams at this point. Brandon Ayuk is doing his best to destroy the beast from the outside, not even showing up, tearing things apart. He's like, I'll give up $26 million to not be on this team. All this is happening, and quietly they're 11-4. They've beat the Rams this year. They beat the Seahawks. Like, they have good wins. And now it's all in front of them for the 1 seed. Kyle Shanahan, he has taken over. He is the best coach in the NFL. He has taken that from Andy Reid or whoever else had it. It's him.
I agree with that. I mean, his entire career, I can't remember a time where I'm watching the 49ers with Shanahan as the head coach and thinking like, dude, they have the best personnel in the league. Now, obviously, they've always had good players. Like Kittle has been a top 10 tight end for the past,
top 3 tight end,
decade,
top 3
whatever.
tight end.
How long that's been? Top 3 tight end. Yeah, obviously Kelsey. I didn't think about that, but Kittle's incredible. Like he's had McCaffrey for the past couple of years. They've had good players. They've had Bosa, but they've never been like, oh, the 49ers are hands down the best team in the NFL. They've never had an Eagles roster. They've never had a Rams this year roster. And it doesn't matter for them as long as Shanahan's there.
Yeah, I mean, they've had good rosters, but they've never had They've never had Josh Allen. They've never had Patrick Mahomes. They never had this version of Matthew Stafford. Like, Brock Purdy, there's a reason this guy went in the 7th round. Like, you can turn into a great player and still there be reasons you went where you did. And he's like, okay, give him to me, puts him in this system, coaches him up. They make a Super Bowl and lose in overtime to Patrick Mahomes. And now they've got it in front of them at the 1 seed again. Would it shock you if this year the San Francisco 49ers were in the Super Bowl? Would shock me a bit. Would not shock me a bit. I would not have said that a month ago, but at this point, it's all in front of them.
Yeah. Yeah. We're running long on this episode, but it's insane what we're witnessing.
That's fine.
Anything on the Colts side? I mean, I'm happy for Phillip Rivers. I'm impressed. Like, he doesn't. Yeah. He's alive.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say about the Colts is there's a reason you don't see teams trade multiple first-round picks in the season. I'll say that. I hate that this is how it's turned out for them.
Yeah.
I hate that this is how it's gone.
That trade does not look good at all.
They're looking at, that might be the 14th pick in the draft, and then they don't have a quarterback next year. And so there's a reason it doesn't happen. I hate that it turned out this way. I like teams adding at the deadline. I would have liked to see them, maybe trade a 2nd round pick for the 23rd best corner in the league rather than 2 firsts for the 4th best corner in the league. But, that's what they chose to do. And it may could have gone a lot. Who knows? Maybe there's a world where it works out great and they end up being the 1 seed and whatever, but it's not the world we got. So
if Daniel Jones doesn't get injured, maybe a couple other things.
Yeah, but we were talking about them missing the playoffs before Daniel Jones got injured. Like, I don't know. I hate it for him.
We were. Yeah, it's a sad note to end on, but it is what we have to end on, unfortunately. There are, unfortunately, Thursday, it's Christmas, and it's not good.
Enjoy your family.
It's not good at all.
Because you're not watching football. I mean, I'll be watching, but.
The only game that is, you're going to have Josh Johnson for the Commanders playing, you're going to have Max Brosmer for the Vikings playing, and I don't know who the 3rd string chief is.
I mean, that might be 50-0. That's going to be ugly.
Now, Saturday's good. Saturday's got playoff teams. You got Chargers, Texans, and you got Ravens, Packers.
A lot of fun.
That's good.
A lot of fun. Get me to
That's
Saturday.
really good. And then, and then Sunday, I'm just scrolling through real quick. Okay, yeah. Yep. Sunday's exciting. In 4 o'clock, you got Bills, Eagles. Sunday Night Football, you got 49ers, Bears.
That's awesome.
All right, I'm back in.
Watch Bijan on Monday night.
Let's do this.
I can't talk anymore. I literally am going to go on vocal rest the rest of the night.
Yeah. That's all we got. We will, hopefully the 2 of us are alive to talk about Week 17 next week. Until next time. See ya.